Hi all, welcome to this session number 3. Today it's all going to be about procurement as a part of Unboxes for on our webinar series. For next 1 hour, we're going to know more about what is the benefit when we upgrade from S4HANA 1511 or 610 release to the latest one, which is S4HANA 1909. Before we start, typical legal disclaimer, because during the course of the presentation, we are going to talk about some of the topics which might be in the roadmap, which are subjected to change. To start with, we are happy to share that SAP has committed to support your S4HANA solutions until 2040. While we support for S4HANA solutions till 2040, the individual releases of S4HANA has a 5-year maintenance cycle. It means that current SAP S4HANA 1511 release is going to be nearing the maintenance cycle as of 31st December 2020, and SAP S4HANA 1610 will going to be out of maintenance by 31st of December 2021. So while we have SAP S4HANA available until 2040, there is a need for you to periodically update SAP S4HANA solution to the latest release so that you get to utilize the latest innovations released over a period of time to adopt to your business. As a part of this webinar series, we want to really give you a view of the innovations which are shipped over a period of time so that you can consider upgrading to the latest release by adopting those innovations as relevant for your business. And today, our focus is more on procurement. You must have already heard why you need to do upgrade and also certain opportunities in finance industry. Today, as you said, myself Shiva and my colleague Vivek are going to take you through the procurement innovations which are available as a Delta innovations from 1510 1610 release. To start with, we would like to take you through the agenda in terms of the presentation, how we have structured and how we want to cover each of these topics. So first, I'm going to give a quick introduction, and then we're going to jump onto the procurement innovations, which are Delta innovations with reference to different procurement processes like operational procurement, sourcing and contract management, followed by invoice management and supply management. And the later part of the slide, we're going to cover analytics and central procurement. Having covered the bare minimum procurement processes, there is also a need of knowing what is intelligent procurement and what are the new innovations released to complete the procurement portfolio we already been offering in the market. And finally, we're going to touch upon the procurement vision. And as a last topic, we're going to briefly explain what are the innovations relevant to extended warehouse management. To start with, I'm going to explain this slide, which you might have seen this in various forum, which is official go-to-market slide. Here, the way this is represented, if you see the center part of the slide, which is the dark area, which is going to cover the core S4HANA functionalities, more so relevant for procurement. You can see all the core procurement capabilities are delivered already in S4HANA as a core ERP functionalities. At the periphery, you have a line which is a little gray in the shade. You have additional capabilities which are licensed one, which are on top of S4HANA. And then you also have a SAP family of solutions which are offered to make the entire source to pay innovations complete, and there is predefined integrations available which are easy to consume and so on. But for our today's 1610 compared to 1909 Delta innovations, and we will cover certain intelligent procurement capabilities in today's session. So before we jump on, I wanted to give a quick view of what is that you can expect as a highlights of this today's session. So as I said, we have done major enhancements and improvements over already released capabilities like operational procurement, self-service procurement, supply chain management, and so on. So what is more exciting and also what is more intelligent procurement scenario is what we're going to cover in the lower boxes as indicated in the slide. So some of these capabilities are going to be explained in detail, and we're going to cover what of these how many of these capabilities are delivered on top of S4HANA, which is already available for consumption, how many are going to be extra licensed, and so on when we come to those topics in the later part of the slide. So stay tuned for more details to come in the further slides. So in order to understand the kind of investment going on in S4HANA for a period of time, what we have done is we have developed a summary of innovations over a period of time, which is a progressive view from version to version. You can see that like from 1511, we already had certain capabilities under operational procurement. We have been adding certain innovations to make it more compelling really adopt S4HANA procurement functionalities. And hence you could see things have really improved over a period of time, and solution is really matured, and now we have gone to a stage where it is intelligent procurement capabilities which are available in the latest releases. So that is the view we wanted to bring. Otherwise, it's pretty much self-explanatory as to say on which releases you have what capabilities available. That's like a more high level view, and we're going to cover some of these in more detail in the further slide. So again, just to highlight some of them, so you could see that we have added certain capabilities like central procurement as of 1709, and we have added a lot of intelligent scenarios like machine learning scenarios as of 1809, and there are many more capabilities which are added as of 1909. So those are the capabilities we're going to cover more in detail, and we also have certain demos lined up in the coming slides. Right. So as you see, you could see that the lot many features and functions are added each and every release. So and hence it is really interesting why we need to understand this, and there is a lot of value for customers to really upgrade themselves to the latest release of S4HANA procurement. So while we talk about features and functions and how system is evolved to support various functions, we need to really understand key personas involved. And these are the personas we're going to really help, and also basically the way they do their work in a day-to-day standpoint, it's going to be a lot of change. When I say change, it's going to be a positive impact where they can really bring in a lot of efficiency using these processes which are delivered in the system. For example, you can think of employee in a normal scenario where they're creating a request and they need to do a lot of clicks. So we will see a demo on the coming slide where all these processes are simplified and employees can really go and order with few clicks as much as possible. And similarly, we can see how things have really improved for operational purchaser and strategic purchaser. And interestingly, we have a lot many analytics to cover as a spend analyst. Yeah, so I've covered the initial introduction. Now over to Vivek to cover next two topics. Thanks, Vivek.
Thanks, Shiva. Hi, everyone. My name is Vivek Sharma. I'm part of SAP's supply chain management team, and it's my pleasure to let you through with procure to pay highlights in the area of operational procurement, supplier and contract management, then followed by important insights on EWM embedded solution in S4 HANA. So, as Shiva has already emphasize that SAP has already invested a lot on 1511 leads onwards, and has come up with harmonized, improved UX throughout P2P solution, EWM solution, and other supply chain management solutions, and maximize end user experience in Fiori. For example, bringing additional overview pages, embedded analytics in important procurement Fiori apps. So starting with self-service requisitioning process. So this process, let me give you some brief idea about it. So this process allows you to create, manage, and track your orders efficiently. You can create items from external catalogs, free text items, and then integrated cross-content search based on SAP S/4HANA. So as the screenshot illustrates, so in the latest version, shopping cart functionality provided by SRM component is now part of S/4HANA Enterprises Management, with the ability to load internal and external catalogs content into S/4HANA system. There's also provision of extended document history for transparency in the self-service procurement process. So apart from that, we have purchase requisition approvals with the new flexible workflow functionality without involving any programming skills to facilitate compliance with policies. All approvals happen through My Inbox Fiori app, and corresponding notifications to the authorities are given to facilitate efficient approval process. So let's see a demo on self-service requisition process using catalogs. So this is our Fiori landing page, and user will log in using the user role purchaser. And on the landing screen, he will have an option of different Fiori apps related to procurement. You need to select the employee self-service, and next is to create purchase requisition. And in the search bar, user can find the desired catalog with the description itself. And in turn, system can propose you the list of available catalog items in the output. It is also possible to basically narrow down the various products on the basis of price, as well as you can also document your reviews based on your past purchase experience. So here you can enter your inputs, given the star rating, and with any text notes, which can help for any future purchases. After that, you can scroll other items which based on your needs, and check the reviews and feedbacks and add it to the shopping cart. Right, once the desired product is selected, and you can put it in the shopping cart, and immediately purchase requisition is created, as well as the purchase order. Once the purchase requisition is created, the next step, once the goods are delivered in your premises, then in reference of the same purchase requisition, you can receive the goods. So this Fiori apps is dedicatedly processes the goods receipt against the purchase requisition, and you can select the desired line item as well as the delivered goods, and you can post the confirm the delivery for the selected purchase requisition. And once the goods are posted, so that purchase requisition is out from the list. So this was for the requisition item demo. We will talk more about the requisition requirement processing. So a purchase requisition is basically, this was the demo which we talked about, that was the self-service procurement, and now coming with the purchase requisition, which can be created manually or triggered through the MRP process to procure certain items of the material or services, so which needs to be available at a certain point of time. So in managed purchase requisition or managed purchase requisition professional, so it is basically it has a feature of embedded visualization of analytical data in the sourcing process to facilitate informed decision making. So what I mean to say here is that in the same app, you can analyze supplier based on price, delivery date, and relevant supplier evaluation score to help you to take a call on placing the order. Then it has also a possibility to create a purchase order directly in the same screen. And if there is a need to redistribution of the workload between the different purchasing group, then it is also possible into the same screen. Now, then we have a situations. So here, system generated notifications, which is basically given to the user using intelligent enterprises solution of situation handling to propose the contract for the purchase requisition without any contract assignment, for example, or purchase order confirmation. So on the part of purchase order processing and collaboration, S/4HANA offers a standard integration to the Ariba Business Network for sending purchase orders and receiving confirmation and goods receipt. The integration is integrated in standard output management, and there is no separate add-on. It's required for the integration. So now talking about the services procurement. So in services procurement, let me take you again through the demo. So here basically we have a wide range of services which can be planned or non-planned and can be procured through limit purchase orders as well. So here you will have some flavor that how the services are managed into the SAP S/4HANA system. So we selected service entry sheet, Fiori app, and enter the desired purchase order number, performance date, and if the account assignment is required, later on for the respective call center, that you can also do. And there is also provision to do the attachments or any URL if you want to add here. So once all this information is completed, after saving the service requisition, or service requisition by mistake, after saving the service entry sheet, it goes for the approval process. And how this approval process works is another demo, which will give you a fair idea about it, which is again based on the flexible workflow approval process. So here, you will need to go into the My Inbox Fiori app. After that, you will click, system will propose you what are the pending service entry sheet due for your approval process. So on the bottom, you can select the release, you can add the comments if needed. And once after approval is done, that service entry is moved for the next step of processing for the invoice verification process. Coming back to next section, which talks about purchase rebate management. So in latest S/4HANA release, SAP delivered the standard customization for purchase scenario, which supports business volume, latest scenario, as well as calendar-based settlement. So in the given slide, illustrates possible data of sources for the settlement. So that settlement program can be purchase orders, through purchase orders, goods movement, or as well as through the invoices. So this slide basically gives some crisp and summarized version of what are the important features that is given under the self-service requisition, requirement processing, which we already discussed. Then on part of purchase order processing as well as the purchase rebate management. So purchase order processing, I would like to add here is that basically user can display and analyze price history details as well as price variation of the purchase orders, and it is also possible to check the status of purchase order items to get a prediction on whether a delivery of these purchase order items will happen earlier than scheduled or time or with a delay. So with flexible workflow approval process, as we explained in our slide, purchase orders can be approved automatically using one step, two step, or multi-step. And it is also possible to forward approved items and add attachments and comments. Now coming to the sourcing and contract management. So what are the key features in this section of source assignments which are available here is basically, you can use the source assignments solution to identify potential source of supply based on your past purchase orders and existing long-term purchasing agreements. So what we can have is that system can propose you immediate display of all the available sources of supply and speeding the work of purchasing agents. As you can see the screen that there are various Fiori apps which are available as a part of source assignment. So it also has an improved user experience with SAP Fiori apps to manage the RFQ process, including comparison of supplier quotations and approvals for the awarded quotation. And this whole approval process is based on the flexible approval process. The next topic is contract management. So in contract management, a purchase contract is an outline purchase agreement. Okay, so between the suppliers and your company to procure special materials or services against which the release order will be posted. So as a part of an embedded analytics, it is possible to analyze what value of contracts is released over the time. So this way you can have better deal with the purchase contractors on its usage, as well as even it is possible to extend the validity of the contracts used under the same screen. So it facilitates the user to direct navigate within various details of the contracts and supplier object page. So it is also enabled with the proactive situation management for contract predictions. As already explained, so you can easily configure the approval workflow of business document of contract without any programming skills. So let me give you one brief idea through a demo, which about the contract template, which is a new feature in S/4HANA. So here, first of all, we need to go into manage purchase contract Fiori app. And there we have option of manage templates. It is basically ready to made one template which you can create and refer your future contracts for the creation purpose. So we are taking example of the value-based contract after filling all the details of validity, contract type, applicability of purchase organization, then suppliers, details on items, and your respective item category, desired account assignment category, as well as material. So basically, you can save it in the form of template. Okay, so now we have filled all the details. We will again go back into manage template. There we can see the template we just created, and it is ready referral for a new contract creation process. Okay, so this is a process basically which helps user a lot of in many ways. It helps to basically reduce the efforts and let's save the time in the creation of the contracts. So these are the new features and innovation which are basically captured, and we have also many we already discussed related to source assignment and purchase contracts. So the next topic I would like to hand over to Shiva to discuss on remaining topics on invoice management and other topics. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Vivek. So far, just to summarize where we are currently. So in terms of building blocks, we are like 6 blocks to cover, starting from operational procurement and then sourcing and contract management, followed by invoice management. So that's the topic we're going to cover. So in terms of the slides, to make it easier for consumption, what we have done is we have organized each topics per se. For example, we had operational procurement. So we have put in some of the key features which are released, and we have also kind of summarized towards end of each building block, like operational procurement. We have put in what are the innovations which are released over a period of time. So basically the message is, it is not only that 1 or 2 slides which we have covered are the complete functionalities which are available in the system. There are many functionalities available in the system you can explore, but then in the interest of time, we have picked up the functionalities and innovations which are important so that you can really understand them. So to start with our next topic, which is invoice management. So invoice management is not new. It was there earlier, but in terms of address the key expectations from the customers who are already using S4HANA. So you could see that the collaborative scenarios are really stronger in a sense where you want to work with account payable accountant and you want to resolve certain invoices which are blocked. So there are apps to help you to bring up that information as quick as possible in the system so that you will have more transparency and control throughout the entire life cycle of the invoice management process. So that's what is available. And if you see here, it is also highlighted in a way to understand what are the key capabilities which are included. As an outcome, by using S4HANA invoice management, you should be able to resolve issues quicker and to fulfill your obligations much faster as an end-to-end process. Talking about invoice collaboration, I think we all understand that S4HANA being a leading ERP system where we would want to consolidate all the financial transactions, which means we need to have invoice really posted in S4HANA system so that all your financial reports are accurate and rest of the legal and statutory reporting can be met. So we have provided a pre-delivered integration to support our other procurement solutions like Ariba, Fieldglass, and this invoice collaboration is more like having your invoice information in an online system where suppliers as well as customers can exchange the information on online mode, and you will have pretty seamless integration experience when you're using the invoice collaboration capabilities. So that is what invoice collaboration as a functionality we are covering in S4HANA, which is available readily. So as I said, when we come to the last slide, so these are the capabilities which are available, like could be a smaller enhancements and innovations added over a period of time. Could be like having a separate list of blocked invoices, and could be something like having a look at the parked invoices. So all these capabilities are available. Please take a look at it when you have time at your own pace. So the next one in the list is the supplier management. So far we have covered three of them, like operational procurement, then sourcing and contact and invoice management. All of them would actually ideally cover supplier who's a key stakeholder in the entire source to pay process. And we need to really have a system to manage the entire supplier base. So that's what we are offering as a capability in terms of supply management, classification, and segmentation. What does it really offers is a portfolio level of view so that you can slice and dice the data which you have in your supply database, and you really have the relationship between the purchasing category and supplier. And you also have various capabilities in terms of imagine you're doing a vendor development activity. You have a project where multiple stakeholders are involved, and those stakeholders can be onboarded in S4HANA system as an internal stakeholders. You can create a task and you can do a sort of a project management activity within S4 itself so that you have a complete transparency as in which supplier is doing what, as in what the supplier is supplying and how is it doing on the rating part. Those information is pretty much available, and you can see that in the screenshot where we have given the indication uh, as an outcome whether the supplier is risky, you want to reduce the risk of the supplier base. Those are the capabilities which are handy for any purchasing department so that they have a clear view of supplier base. So next one in the list is supplier evaluation, where we are talking about how we can evaluate suppliers in the real time. So in the current world, whenever we are making a decision, we have to be really clear in terms of the data, what is available in the system. So in order to make a decision, as in the informed decision by using the data, what is offered in S4HANA is a real-time analytics which are available, and it is not like you schedule a job and wait for the output and your decisions are made on the data which is taken some time back. It is not like that. We are talking about having a real-time view of the data available so that you can take the decision by slicing and dicing the data, and you can also do your evaluation. Like when we talk about evaluation, it involves creating a template, creating a questionnaire, and building the scores. So after having the scores, then how do you really qualify certain supplier is what is supported currently in S4HANA, which is also a very interesting capability to try out. So we will come to the summary of it, and then we briefly going to jump on to the analytics, because if we ask one of the key capability why certain customers who are currently on 1511, yeah, 1610 want to pursue the upgrade, analytics is one of the key factor which really helps them to have the data at the fingertips, right? So before I quickly jump on to the slide, I want to show a quick demo and then come back and continue with the slide. So imagine you're currently logging into S4HANA system, and system can give you a single view of all the analytics you are interested, right? So I'm going to demonstrate one of the capability, like we have a purchasing analytics. It's pretty much like you have a view of all the dashboards which are relevant for a procurement function. So you can call it out, like there could be off contract spend, and you want to look at some of the spend variants and so on. So here we're going to look at the contracts which are going to expire, right? So you can see that the moment I click on it, I can get into a report and I can see the data which is organized in a fashion which I want. If I can also, if I want something else, I can also change it. Then I'm going to the purchasing spend function, where I want to analyze the data based on different parameters. Currently, it is in the Tableau format. I like the pie chart, so I can go and choose the. So all this is personalization, right? So this is the data slicing. We are doing it real time as you need it. Like you're going to dice it out based on the purchasing category. So these are very handy features for any purchaser, because purchasing needs a lot of data crunching, and which is facilitated by system on the real time. So we also have something like a procurement overview, because imagine yourself as a purchaser who's sitting in an organization. Typical expectation is when you walk into office, you would want to know what is the key critical task you want to concentrate. So that is being addressed with the procurement overview page, which is available in S4HANA readily. So you can actually look at certain records or any activities of your interest, and system will give you a detailed view of what's going on in organization with reference to certain materials. You can change the cards. Again, as I said, these are all your personalization effort, where your somebody wants to see some graph on the left side and the other someone wants to see in the right side. All these is an user specific, where the end user who's consuming the application can do it. So that's really interesting. And you also want to do certain analysis by clicking on certain graph given. So you could do that as well. So this is pretty much available, and it's going to really make a purchaser life easier when they're going to upgrade to the later version of S4HANA, and because this overview page is pretty much available and all the scenarios are catered for, and it will prompt purchaser to act on certain tasks which are required. And this is currently we are exporting the data in the format. So these are the capabilities which are available in the system. And if you want to look at the trend, again, you can just click at the click of the button, you have these data points available. Uh, so in a way, the summary here is you have enough analytics in the system to make informed data driven decisions to improve either a process efficiency or you whatever targets you have defined as a KPI. So that is what purchase analytics is offered out of S4HANA. So now coming back to the slides. So we pretty much covered this. Again, we also have some of the demo links displayed in the slides. You can probably click on them and go through them at your own pace. But then we have already seen in the system that system offers enough capabilities in terms of understanding how each of them, as in each of the analytics, will give value to the customers on a daily basis, and more so on the procurement department. right? So we will go to the next slide, which is around operational procurement as an overview page. We have seen if a purchaser logs into the system, you would want to see a single view of entire operations happening in the department. You can take a look at it, and you can also configure KPIs and measure the outcome of those tasks against those KPIs. All those are facilitated. So again, the one other important things I think Vivek briefly touched upon is having insight to action, right? So analytics is good, but then can I act on to those data points and then really drive an outcome out of that is what we mean by insight to action. Here, the example taken is imagine you create the employee has created a purchase equation which is kind of landed in a purchaser desk, and purchaser wants to assign a possible source of supply. So here the system will give you a view of graphical representation of how much spend has happened among these two suppliers, so that supplier who's purchaser who's assigning the supplier can take an informed decision based on the spend patterns which are available in the system, right? So purchaser can take an informed decision. That is what is we calling as insight to action embedded analytics available for procurement relevant activities. And this is just one of the example. Continue. So we wanted to summarize what we have delivered in supply management as the building block, and also the procurement analytics. So as an analytics, we have covered only key and some of the important one, but there are many other dashboards, standard reports which are available, and you can pretty much go and customize, kind of personalize based on your own expectation. You want to see certain rows at the first. All those things are pretty much available in the S/4HANA latest release, which is accessible using a Fury framework. Okay, so we will go to the next topic, which is central procurement, right? So before we jump onto central procurement, just wanted to again summarize what we have covered so far. It is the building blocks of operational procurement, then sourcing and contract management, invoice management, and supply management. So all these four and follow supported by purchase analytics are the core capabilities which are already existing in S/4HANA 15, 11, yeah, 1610. But then we have really made it better by adding innovations over a period of time, which really makes um, purchasing or other spend analyst and other personas life easier when it comes to work. So now I'll quickly jump onto the central procurement topic. Central procurement as a capability is was added um, starting 1709 release. We started with 1709, but then we added over a period of time, and it's quite uh, mature and it's in a good shape. And we are proud to say that this is also one of the key differentiator when it comes to offering in terms of procurement offering and the portfolio we have in our block, right? So the moment we talk about central procurement, I think what comes to our mind is what was the predecessor, as in what is the current situation when we talk about demand aggregation from a multiple sources, or you're kind of orchestrating a procurement process between two systems, right? That's the central procurement we're talking about. Central procurement as a use case, as a deployment, can have two possibilities. One, imagine in the current world you have a highly distributed organization, which means it also has a highly distributed landscape to support the organization. So you can have multiple plants or organizations spread across geography, but then you would really have a shared services kind of a model set up for a procurement, so that any one organization or a department is enabled to do all the procurement activities in a shared services model. One, or you might have a headquarters subsidiary kind of a hybrid deployment model where you would want to leverage the volumes of the procurement by doing the demand aggregation among the subsidiaries, and negotiate a better contract at a headquarters, which can be distributed to which can be distributed to subsidiaries, so that the economics of scale can be achieved. So that is what central procurement we are talking about. Again, there are different building blocks even within the central procurement, because certain customers might just want to consume only a few building blocks. We will come to those scenarios, but that's what I think as a central procurement at a high level is what is important to understand, where we have capabilities like central equation, where you would have, imagine employee doing the equation and rest of the activities are taken over by a shared services kind of a model. Similarly, you have a central purchasing where, imagine in a headquarters subsidiary model, subsidiary is buying something and you would want headquarters to approve online in the system. You can configure a centralized approvals and then have the central purchasing done. Similarly, we have built in an integration for the central sourcing activity, where in case if a sourcing event needs to be initiated, it can be triggered in S/4HANA and can be sent to Ariba or any other system in the future. But then currently we have built in an integration to send out that information to Ariba, where that sourcing can be done and can be brought back to S4 for rest of the operational procurement. And the central contract, we just talked about it, and we also have a certain some demo to kind of cover the capabilities of central procurement. And also I would say let's go to that demo and understand how the central contract and central analytics are going to work. So one other important question is, currently whenever we have this kind of session with the customers and partners, central procurement as a capability is delivered in S/4HANA. So that means S/4HANA in any deployment manner can be a leading system. But a subsidiary or a consuming system can be an ERP system. Come and cover those why we are talking about this in the next slide. But then what is it really offering as a central procurement is, it's a transition path for existing customers who are currently using SRM, who are also going out of maintenance very soon, right? So we all know it. So considering that situation, central procurement plays a really a critical role for customers who would want to have this demand aggregation part or certain capabilities we just explained to have it adopted in their landscape in a central procurement fashion, right? So why we are talking about ECC and S4HANA and other deployment options, we will cover it up in this slide. So as I said, central procurement is not a topic which is like going to give you certain scope item details. Central procurement covers many capabilities which can be kind of picked and choose. I mean, basically, you can pick and choose whatever you need from your organization standpoint. But most customers are already using like central contracts, central purchasing, if in case if they want to use a shared services model. So the point here is, whenever you're going for a digital transformation, when you're doing upgrade to the latest releases, you can also think of navigating to as in you can adopting to the newer functionalities by region by plan. So that is the idea. So that's what the central procurement as a function is going to offer. So imagine in the current situation, you have a central system which is orchestrating the process. You have various regional systems, could be plans, or could be separate offices for some reason, and then you want to kind of migrate this system into S4. So you can actually pace it out based on your bandwidth, right? So that is the whole intention of building S/4HANA central procurement capability. In addition to the customers who are already on SRM who would want to choose central procurement as a next path to transition logically, right? So while we do this, I think, as I said, we wanted to cover the key capabilities or building blocks, or you can call it as an end-to-end procurement process, which can be selectively chosen by customers, because some customers we have worked with customers like they have only chosen central equationing. In this, all they're interested is employees at the subsidiaries are given an option to create a requisition, but rest of the activities are done in some other system, right? And we also worked with some customers where the central contract is adopted in the landscape, like where contract is created in one central system and it is distributed to other local subsidiaries to do a operational procurement. So in the interest of time, let's go to quick. Let's go and look at the demo, and then probably we can see how the central contract as a process is orchestrated in two systems. So here, imagine we have taken a use case of having a headquarters running on S/4HANA on-prem, and then you have other subsidiaries running on S/4HANA Cloud for a demonstration purpose. But again, we're going to see um, one of the subsidiaries is going to consume this information in the form of like ECC system consuming this information as well. But as we said, there are a lot of things which are added. Please take a look at the latest roadmap to look at what is possible and what is not possible in terms of deployment. But then let's start with the creating a central contact. Imagine you're at the headquarters and you're creating a central contact. You're asked to fill in many details, which is like the attributes which are required, like start date, end date, and value. Once you have that, so next task could be to create a item which is required to be procured. And here you have an option to either have a distribution based on the percentage, as in it could be based on the percentage, it could be based on the quantity. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to build in the distribution line as in the header distribution information. So for a demo purpose, we have picked up 100%, which is the easiest one. So once we have this distribution done, you can imagine the local contract is going to be available in a subsidiary system, which is orchestrated, as in the process is orchestrated and it is reached. So you can see that the same contract is visible at the subsidiary, and you can see now come back to headquarters and look at the consumption which is happening. So imagine you have 3 subsidiaries, you could have all the consumption aggregated at headquarters. That's what is happening right now. You could see that 66% of the contract is consumption. The consumption has happened. You can look at the release documentation which has happened at the subsidiary. So that is the kind of transparency which is promoted by having the central contract functionality and also the analytics, right? So our topic is not complete without talking about analytics, because we have many capabilities to do a slicing and dicing of the data, where you can go and click on the data. You want to really organize the data in a different using different filters, attributes. Yeah, so those are the capabilities which are pretty much offered by central procurement functionalities as a part of S/4HANA. Right. So I think probably by now you got a gist of Delta innovations when we talk about S/4HANA as the latest release, which is 1909. So now it's time to look at what is that we can do as an intelligent procurement, right? What we really mean by intelligent procurement. I know the normal source to pay process will run, but on top of it, how we can really augment your decisions, either through machine learning or many other capabilities. That's what we're going to cover probably for next 5 minutes or so. Okay, so whenever we talk about intelligent procurement, it's always we start with the intelligent ERP. We can probably take a similarity the way humans work, interact. So all these capabilities are actually there, are existing. Again, these are not just a concept which are existing in the drawing board. We have all these capabilities already delivered on top of S/4HANA, which is an intelligent ERP. We have something like listening and speaking skills, which are conversational AI. We have acting, which is like doing things on a it could be a mass upload capability. We will talk about what are those RPA means, as in robotic process automation and so on, in the coming slide. So we are trying to draw a parallel to a human, how intelligently human behave to certain situations and how they really get along with their social uh, gathering. I mean, the way they behave socially. So all these things are kind of demonstrated in our intelligent ERP, which is S/4HANA in a enterprise mode. So that's what we wanted to cover for next. That's what I want to cover for next 5 minutes. So again, as I said, you need to know certain technological blocks to understand, but don't worry about that. These are again, once you have upgraded to latest version of S/4HANA 1909. All these are just additional um, licenses or additional activities to kind of have these capabilities adopted in your environment selectively as and when you require it. So it could be something to do with conversational AI, probably like creating a purchase equation while you're having a coffee. Could be something like doing mass upload or any other activities which you feel boring to do it very often. Then situations where system can give you intelligent capabilities to kind of really understand and act on it as fast as possible, and then you you take an action so that your outcome is really fast, and then you finally have a learning capability. So without much delay, let's jump on to those examples and how things can really change when you really upgrade to S/4HANA, the latest release, which is 1909. So we have picked up an example of operational purchase as a persona, but then you have actually capabilities to cater to all the personas we earlier mentioned, like strategic purchaser, employee, analyst, and so on. So here, imagine as a user who's buying IT equipment. So how can intelligent procurement make a difference to normal procurement activities is already kind of performed on a day-to-day level? So here, think about creating a purchase requisition by clicking a photo, not by entering many fields, but by just by clicking the photo. We will have a quick demo on that. We'll show it. So once we have those purchase requisition created in the system, can we have an intelligent approval in the sense, can approver get a recommendation from the system to say this request can be approved with certain confidence level? So those are the kind of capabilities we are talking about it. We're going to cover that in the coming slide as well. So similarly, once you have the goods received, the purchase order is created and you have the goods received, it might happen that you actually physically received the goods, but you forgot to confirm it in the system. Can system remind you based on certain rules you want to set in system? That's the situation handling. And there is a nice YouTube link which is available externally. You can also take a look at. And a lot of these are already delivered. Okay. And then probably we will talk about certain capabilities and then going to show some of the key screenshots and how it will appear so that you can visualize and take back this information while you're preparing for the latest release upgrade. The first one in the list is, instead of a purchaser spending a time and figuring out the opportunities to create a purchase contract, right? So system can do that job for you based on the data which is existing in the system. It's like identifying the key materials in your database which needs to have a contract. Again, then probably your obvious question would be, how will system know? Right? System is going to learn using a machine learning algorithm by having the training. That's what we have kind of highlighted here as a machine learning use case, where system is going to give you those numbers based on certain factors like how much lead time is required to get this material to your required location, and what is the value of the material, and how many documents are created. So those are the attributes which are displayed in the system. So you will have pretty much all the possible scenario covered, and then you can take a look at the available artifact already, and then probably you will see that it is really interesting to adopt in your case. Okay, so more on to the next one. Here we are talking about SAP proposing the right material group. It's very often that in a procurement department, most of the functions are tied to the material group as a attribute. If a user, while entering a purchase requisition, enters a wrong material group, it actually lands up in a different purchaser work list. So that means the end-to-end process is going to take a lot longer than what is visualized, right? How do you really address it? So can system help to make the right decision for an end user while they're filling in the purchase equation? That's what is being addressed to this functionality, where system will, the moment you order, you are trying to search for something, system will give a recommendation based on the confidence level. Higher the confidence level, you can go ahead and choose it. Lower the confidence, you can probably try to apply your experience and then select the right one yourself. So next one is a creation of a new catalog item. I think this has been asked by many customers because many customers have tried to reduce the Maverick spend in the system, and it always come to a point at what point I should create coded material so that my spend reporting can be effective and hence my Maverick spend can be reduced. So we have come up with a use case where system, based on the attributes you're going to enter, it could be metal group, it could be value, it could be the units, whatever you're going to do it in a system will have a track. The moment those thresholds are met, right, system is going to give you that recommendation saying that, hey, you have already created certain documents in system, why don't you consider creating a new catalog item so that you can have a proper reporting and analyzing done your landscape. That is the use case we are talking about, which is available in SAP S/4HANA. So again, we talked about source to pay as a process because once we have operation purchasing done, I think Vivek showed some of the examples of procuring something and confirming the goods. But then you need to have an obligation fulfilled as well, right? So in order to do the obligation, how can you really do that job effectively as an account payable accountant, right? So can system proactively display a payment block and analyzing the underlying issues is what is addressed using this functionality, which is a machine learning use case of SAP payment block. Again, the outcome of this once you adopt is to avoid loss of cash discount so that you can identify the opportunities early and address them. Going to the next one, again, here we always have a challenge of predicting a supplier delivery. How much ever data we have, every time you have a delivery, it's always subjected to the change. You have a trend. As a purchaser, it is very difficult to keep a track of all these trends in your mind and apply that in a system, right? So what we have done is system can do that job for you where system can learn based on the data which is available, right? So system going to predict the date and with the confidence factor again, and you always have option to choose, and then based on the confidence level, you can also go and review it based on whatever is on the display. So those are the capabilities which are predominantly machine learning capabilities I talked about, just to give you some high level overview. But then, as I said, it is not a complete list. We have many other capabilities, but then we thought this could probably really excite you for the latest upgrade from 15.11, yeah, 16.10 to 19.09. So the one important use case which we are allowed, and we are really happy to share that in this forum, is image-based buying. So in the traditional way, user is asked to really do many clicks so that they can do a purchasing or a requisition activity. Can we really do it using the certain clicks? That is really possible using this capability. I have a short demo. So you can see here is you have a pretty much like a device. You can go and click an image which you want to really search. So you basically you want to procure a keyboard. You can just click on the image of it and search in your catalog whether that item exists, and system can give that recommendation to go and buy of your choice, right? So similarly, in case you're looking for probably a desktop, you can again click and take an image, and then system will give you that recommendation, right? So you can imagine yourself now while you're doing the requisition yourself by doing many clicks versus this. So that is the innovation that's the scale of the innovation we are talking about, how we are delivering some of the path breaking innovation so that you can adopt it when you go to the latest releases. So the last one in the machine learning topic I want to cover about intelligent approval, because most of the activities when it comes to procurement are document intensive and approval intensive. So every time somebody has to approve, they have to do the data crunching themselves, and probably they have to go and verify personally and so on. How good it will be system to give a confidence level saying these are the attributes which are considered, right? Which can be set up while you're doing the training. suppose you have a request created in a particular material group which gets approved often. So that will have higher confidence level versus one of the requests which you get out of that material group, right? So those are the capabilities which are delivered in the system. Again, in the interest of time, as I said, I'll go to the next use cases. So here, when we talk about this intelligent procurement, automation is really key. So we need to talk about robotic process automation just to help you understand the scale and the kind of the future direction, which is what we are taking. So we want you to really go and understand these innovations which are already delivered. I picked up few examples. I do not have too much of details in the RPA because I thought this could be too much of detail at this point of time. But then what is really interesting to understand is we have many RPA capabilities delivered. When you say RPA, it is a robotic process automation. Imagine a software robot doing a task for you. Like for example, in the today's world, when you as a purchaser get an email from a supplier, you always need to log into system, check the invoice status and reply back to the supplier. Can a system do it for you without you really bothering? You can just configure it to really do this scanning once in a day or twice a day based on your convenience, and system can trigger a mail back to supplier directly. So that is the kind of automation we are talking about. And imagine you're sitting in a shared services, you would typically go to office Monday in the Monday morning. First thing, you log into 15 instances and you have to collate all the requirements and then get back and create a document yourself, which is going to take a lot of time. And that is a task which humans uh, really feel it's tedious because they get really bored out of those kind of tasks. Can system do it? Yes, and they can do it much efficiently. Where SAP RPA bot can log into such instances, get the data, and create the documents, and rest of the approvals can be managed in a regular fashion. It is managed, right? So those are the uh, kind of use cases we already address, and procurement is really weird when it comes to a function, and also from a LOB standpoint as a system, right? SAP S4HANA procurement has many intelligent capabilities like machine learning, could be a robotic process automation, and we have situation handling. Situation handling is something where you have a certain situation, like for example, we talked about purchase requisition, right? Uh, we talked about having received the goods in the system. A lot of time users forget to confirm that, but then in order to complete your obligations by month, then you need to remind users to confirm back in the system. Can you configure a situation so that it will only inform the sub users who have forgot to confirm the goods, right? In case if they have a requisition which has a purchase order, and you have goods which is not confirmed, you can go and remind those set of users. Again, this situation handling comes as a free. You can go and explore, which is free, as in on top of S4HANA 1909, you can pretty much use those um, situation handling capabilities as well. Okay, so I have covered intelligent procurement topic. Before I kind of summarize, and then I wanted to really touch upon one such topic, which is again a innovation as an additional capability to a procurement portfolio, is enterprise contract management and assembly. So here, uh, in the in the um, in the conventional world, we always had a different system to work on the authoring part. When I say authoring, imagine you're creating a contract or a procurement. You would want to develop certain terms and conditions, and those terms and conditions are really detailed, and those are typically developed based on templates, and certain legal authorities are involved to develop those text blocks and so on. So all these capabilities are delivered as a part of enterprise contract management and assembly. Earlier, it was called as legal content management and assembly. So don't get confused with the names, but then as a capability, we are proud that from an S2P, as in source to pay capability. We have a complete capabilities covered in S4HANA. On top of S4HANA, you can go and adopt this functionality of enterprise contract management. And both the blocks can be independent. If you want to consume only contract management, you can very well do that. Whereas you can, if you want to only consume, I mean, if you want to consume contract assembly along with the contract management, that is also possibility. So in a nutshell, you can create the templates, which is more like a context in this terminology. Categories are like indirect, direct, and categories of your choice. And the legal transactions are like you do a purchase order, it could be a contract. All those are transactions which you can say, and the documents are probably like one legal transaction can have multiple documents, which are again getting the information from templates and textbooks, right? So as I said, this is again a additional capability which is available, and some of the customers are really pursuing it. And in terms of process, this would look like this, where it typically involves creating a contract, and then once the contract life cycle is set, you can also go and verify it, and then you keep monitoring it and store, and it's centrally stored and so on. Those are the capabilities addressed. And I wanted to show how it looks like in the system. Imagine like you want to develop a contract document from various sources. It could be coming from a quotation, could coming from the master agreement, could be a legal transaction. All this can be clubbed into a single document to generate a contract document. So this is what I wanted to cover, okay, as an additional capability. And lastly, before I hand over my session to Vivek for the next topic, I want to briefly touch upon the procurement vision, because when we have this kind of session, especially in the procurement area, I know it is important to upgrade from 1511, yeah, 1610 to 1909. But we need to understand we have other procurement solutions like SAP Ariba, SAP Fieldglass offered from SAP as well. So don't worry, we are working as one team. That's what we wanted to pass on as a message. We have possibly looked at our offering, and we are trying to give a seamless experience to our customers as much as we could. In that direction, we have worked on certain key capabilities which can be differentiating factors for us in terms of competition. It could be in the form of automation we talked about, could be a robotic process automation like bots doing the job for you, or situation handling, helping you at the right moment, having the embedded intelligence, predicting certain kind of activities and tasks. And we talked about certain interfaces like smart ordering, image based ordering, digital assistant as an conversational AI, right? So you have many other capabilities like we extensively talked about central procurement, right? So in a nutshell, we are in a right direction where we want to complete our portfolio with as much as innovation, and hence you should really consider to update to the latest release. So what do you, Vivek?
Thank you, Shiva. Let me share my screen. So in the interest of time, I will try to touch base important innovations and capability in EWM embedded solution. Okay, so before starting, let's have some basic understanding about what a embedded solution is. So in Q4 2016, SAP EWM became an embedded application component within SAP S/4HANA. So with the on-prem edition of 1610, and supply chain management for extended warehouse management, to make it simple, basically, we'll call it as embedded EWM. Okay, so with the release of it, both basic warehousing and extended warehouse management are running on a common code, which is basically embedded in S/4HANA. Okay, so let's have a look on important highlights in EWM solution. So it basically combines, best-in-class proven warehouse capabilities coupled with the S/4HANA benefits. So technically, the simplified integration of embedded EWM within on-prem edition is basically reached by the adoption of unified data. Okay, since technical structures is the same. Okay, which is therefore other core capabilities for S/4HANA. So major innovations, if we highlight, number one is that core interface is not used anymore for master data. Another thing that, as I explained, a core interface is not anymore for master data, which includes business partner, material master, and batches. And redundant customizing table at many areas have been eliminated. And then it also has enablement of SAP Fiori user experience. So in EWM 9.5, okay, we used to have inbound or outbound delivery request before creation of actual delivery document in EWM. And in embedded solution, okay, so delivery request is skipped. Then other feature which includes as a part of simplification, that goods shipped without expected goods shipped use of with use of purchase order and manufacturing order is there. And as far as simplifications are concerned, then it has a feature of disabled transportation management in EWM, as well as labor demand planning. Coming to the next slide, so we have basically clubbed into 5 different sections. That is usability, emphasizing features in business Fiori apps, business transaction Fiori apps. Then enhanced integration, which talks about integration with the other module processes. Then this section has which talks about the analysis and tracing the logs under the reduce and TCI/CO for analysis, as well as then innovations. We'll also talk about innovation and simplification again. So in usability section, now there is a provision to pack the content from pick HU to ship HU. It also supports batches and serial number. Then within a physical inventory counting app, you can do simple counting for paper-driven operations. Then under enhanced integration, you can create ad hoc product warehouse task. Then you can confirm the warehouse task with the exceptions in foreground mode. Then IUID, which basically definition which specifies the use of unique item identifiers for certain materials for serializations. Okay, then under this section, which basically emphasize that there is a provision. Now you can do the you can perform ABC analysis and check the change log for the storage bin as highlighted here. Okay, in the next slide, as far as innovation and simplifications are concerned, then here you can do the stock consolidation enhancement, okay, which can help to decide about consolidating stock items with the different batches, okay, with pre-selected attributes, pre-selected batch attributes. So match in the, which can be from different batch records, for example, expiration data, manufacturing date, etc. Then we have another warehouse KPIs for outbound delivery, featuring that that number of outbound deliveries, items can be done by actual goods issue time, then number of overdue outbound delivery order items without goods issue by ship to party, then number of blocked outbound delivery order items by planned goods time. Then it also have a feature, where the number of outbound delivery order items without picking warehouse task by planned goods issue time. So it can help a lot of time and streamline the operation in the extended warehouse and the warehouse. These are the basic day-to-day activities which are performed. So in this slide, basically, which emphasized on important Fiori apps. This is highlighting other important, innovations that in inbound area you can have, quality management activation, without using inspection rule. So outbound processing we already discussed. Then in storage and operation, we discussed about physical inventory, paper-driven counting, ABC analysis, then stock consolidation enhancement, which I just explained in my previous slide. So then integration topic we also discussed. Then in cross, there is a option of stock specific unit of measures, which is further integrated with the SAP's transport management through ERP. So this is all from my side. I hope you had a good understanding on important innovations and highlights in embedded EWM. Thank you, and over to you, Shiva.
Yeah, thanks, Vic. I just take probably 1 more minute to kind of take you through the assets which are really available as for your consumption. So you can probably go and click on these links. It's starting from help portal to feature scope description. And the most important ones are you have a very active community page where we have been pushing so many assets to really make it easier for our stakeholders to consume it. Yeah, so the reason we wanted to take a minute and probably summarize this is these documents are pretty much already available for you. Please take a look at it. In case if you have something, you can go and check in community if there are some other assets already available. If you still need some help, we are happy to provide a helping hand. Yeah, so otherwise, thank you all for this opportunity, and hopefully you've gained insight which is required for you to make up your mind to upgrade from 1511, 1610 to 1909, and wish you all the good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.